Thank you so much. I actually came and sat up here before the seminar started just so I can get a feel of the hot seat.
How does it feel?
It feels really good. This is my first time in the hot seat. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for everything. I've always been somewhat positive, and I manifested when I was 24 a couple big things that by default, which were just so precise to my imagination that I couldn't help but contemplate there has to be something out in this world. And everything started
In other
falling.
words, are you saying to us that you just stumbled on a high-flying disc? You didn't do it on purpose. You were just there. And wonderful things happened because what was in your vortex and the vibration of your grid were the same. And you didn't do it on purpose. That's why you're calling it default. But
Yes.
just the same, you recognize the power of that alignment.
Yes.
We thought that's what you said.
Yes. Yes. And there wasn't this, I love the certainty now that I know that things that I want are possible. When I was doing it by default, there wasn't a certainty, but...
Yeah, because if you're not doing it on purpose, you can't make it happen every time. When you understand that it is not just possible, it is certain.
Right.
Then off you go into the life you intended. Not one of you said, I'll go and I'll possibly have fun. Not one of you said, oh yeah, I'll go be a human in that sea of contrast where all things possible will be recognized by me. But then maybe I'll allow it to manifest and maybe I won't. You all felt certain about it. That's why negative emotion is so powerful within you when you're doing that thing you're doing that is denying it. Yeah.
Right. Well, with the whole deliberate creation, now I manifest things all day long, and they're just really, really joyful, but something really that I really, really want. I catch myself taking score all the time, and I feel I've been on the brink for almost a year that I feel like it's going to manifest.
Think about when I really, really want something, what are the thought components of that? I really, really want this thing that hasn't happened yet. I really, really want this missing thing. So what's the vibrational attitude? It isn't here yet. I've made such peace with the absence of it. No, that's not the way of putting it. I'm not at peace. I'm waging war against the absence of it. But my attention is upon its absence. So what are you going to do about that? How are you going to stop noticing that something that you want so much isn't there?
I meditate. And I feel really good about meditation when I come out. I feel like he's with me. But 2 days later when we are friends and I really want to hug him and express my love for him, I can't do that because I know it's not reality yet.
So you're very clear about what you want. This is the most difficult thing. The things you don't care that much about, they just zoom right into your experience. Have you noticed that?
Yes, they do.
And doesn't that tell you that it's because the things you don't care about that much, you're not putting so much into? And isn't that a hint? Isn't that a hint? So it sounds like we're saying stop wanting it so much, but that isn't what we're saying because that isn't possible. You can't stop wanting something that you want because there's a desire that you've put into your vortex. But you see, we're not talking about you desiring it. We're talking about you wanting it. We're talking about you feeling the absence of it. So how could you stop feeling the absence of something when you feel it so strongly? Think about something else. Give more airtime to other things. Now, you could give more airtime, more focus time, more attention, more talk time, more thought time. You could give it to general aspects of this subject. And that would slow the momentum because when you're focused generally, the momentum is slower than when you're focused specifically. Or you could get off the subject altogether.
I do that when I feel negative emotion. I go general, but the few minutes into going general, it's again I end up being specific.
But you see that as you argue for your limitation, and that's all right. In other words, you all feel like that. I want this thing that has not come, and I want to know why this thing that I want has not come. So we tell you, but you can't hear it. I want to know how I can make it come faster. So we tell you, but you can't hear it. And then we say, don't think about it. And you go, yeah, what? don't think about this thing that I have such momentum about, but that is the key. You got to get out ahead of it. You can't keep doing what you're doing and get something different than what you're getting. You've got to find another approach to it. And the key that lets you know you are finding another approach is that you feel ease, not angst, or you feel excitement, not discouragement. So what we're really talking about is understanding this emotional scale and getting on those grid discs deliberately for the feeling of them, not for the results of them. I'll get on this disc that feels like joy and love and satisfaction because that will bring me the lover that I don't have.
I think I do that.
You think?
But it feels really good being up there. It does feel good.
Well, that's because you're talking about the love, you're talking about the fun, you're talking about the freedom, you're talking about all those things that you want in general terms. But then when you get specific, it moves you into that practiced vibration where the momentum is already there, you see.
Right.
So just try to stay general about it. And the most general thing, you see, you were right with us when we said, do you know that you are the creator of your own reality? You know that. That puts you right there. Do you know that law of attraction abounds?
Yes.
There's no question in your mind about that. Do you know that you're a good deliberate creator? Not even a question about that, except for that subject, you see.
Yes.
So doesn't it seem logical that you just want to stay off that subject? So when we tell you that the question and the answer are different frequencies, how could you be more answer-oriented? How could you be more solution-oriented on this subject?
I can think about how with ease universe brought him in my life and I wasn't even trying. I used to only think about him just because I used to like imagining being friends with him, and now I am in that situation and I didn't do any action. I was like such with ease. And
so what happens to you when you hear a statement like this? So this person has activated within you a powerful desire, and you recognize that desire as something that's been in your vortex for a long time. How does this statement feel to you? I appreciate the activation of what I've put into my vortex, and now I'm going to turn my attention in other directions in order to allow that activation to be satisfied.
it feels really good. I just don't know if I trust it yet.
Well, you'll find out. What does the feeling of trust feel like?
Just
Because you said, I don't know if I trust it, in a feeling of worry. So you know that the word that you offered and the feeling that you had were not a vibrational match. So can you talk yourself out of that feeling right here and right now?
yes, I can focus on the fact that I just love, because I can use him as a reason to feel good. I can think about how wonderful he is. And
What if the universe delivered someone just like him but not him?
I want him. I'm okay.
What if the universe knows everything about him that you love and has mixed up a perfect clone of him, except he's not reluctant, he's willing? What if there were a willing version of him out there in your vortex somewhere? What if the universe said, we'll give you everything you want, just stop focusing upon what you believe isn't coming?
It does happen when I let go and he would call. And I feel like I'm evoking out of him the lack.
But you've missed the point altogether.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so
What
I should just...
if he isn't coming, but something even better is? What's that feeling? Does it put you here?
Yeah.
No.
How do I go about it then?
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
How do I go about it then? Okay, let's say
Well,
I just let
we're
go.
just encouraging you to play around with this and figure out where you are, because this is what's going on in your vibration. I want this thing that is not coming. I want this thing that is not coming. And those two practiced vibrations are so joined at the hip that whenever you think of this thing that you want, you offer a vibration that denies it in the same moment. So you got to make an end run around this in some way. You got to find some way. When you want something so bad that you can't stand it, there's something really screwy in your vibration that isn't going to let it come. It's going to hold off indefinitely, you see. You've got to disconnect from the subject and care about the disc you're on, period. You got to say, hey man, I really care about you and I like you almost more than life itself, but I don't like you more than being on this disc. And so far you put me on this disc. So I'm leaving you off in the bushes for a little while and I'm getting on this disc. And then I'll see who comes out of the bushes and plays with me.